Hey, we're back again with the Fairway Conversations. Once again, I'm your host, Gabe the Cali Lobo, weekend warrior golfer who is completely obsessed with golf. In each episode, as always, we will discover the stories, strategies, and experiences that make this sport truly remarkable. Once again, this episode is sponsored by my friends over at Soda Jerk Shot. Soda Jerk Shot is the amazing award-winning liqueur that comes in two distinctive flavors, orange cream and root beer. Visit sodajerk.com to find out where you can get a bottle. And Soda Jerk reminds you to be a jerk responsibly because Soda Jerk is 70 proof. On today's episode, I have the pleasure of sitting down with a coach who worked with both ASU and is now a coach over at Hamilton High School, coaching the girls program over there. And I believe she mentioned to me that she did a little bit of work with the LPGA Tour. So I'm happy to have with us today Jessie Stone. Jessie, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Good. Awesome. Thanks for the intro. Happy to be here. Excited
Hey,
to be
I
here.
yeah,
Anytime we
I
talk about golf and sounds like a little bit of alcohol sounds good to me.
hey, I love it. I love it because yeah, they go hand in hand, don't they?
For most of our weekend warrior golfers, I would say, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny because we talk about it now on the show all the time, and since I've really taken golf seriously, I've cut out the alcohol when I'm playing,
Yeah.
and I save it till after for sure. But when I'm playing, I try to take it easy because I don't know, for some reason I've become extremely serious as my handicap has gone down and I've gotten better. I've started to take it a lot more serious, and
Yeah.
it's hard because I try to find that balance between being cool with my buddies and hanging out and having a good time, but I always want to get better and while I'm out there playing. So
Hey, I get that. We didn't talk about this actually before. What is your
mhm.
handicap?
I'm currently a 6.4. I just hit 6.4. I'm trying to get I think I want to get down to a 3 is where I'm shooting for. I was at a 12 when I started this little journey of like taking golf extremely seriously. 12 turned into a 10. A 10 was like, oh, I'll be happy when I get into single digits. And then single digits became a 9, which became a 7, which is now a 6. And, you know, it's a constant fight to always be there. But I'm sure you know about this.
Hey, I'm right around, I would say, I guess it depends on the day and depends on the course.
Sure.
I say that a lot, but I'm probably not too far from you. I'm sure we could be pretty competitive,
Hey,
depending on the length of the course too.
sure, sure. I'm going to be out there in the Arizona over Thanksgiving. Are you going to be
Oh,
around?
yeah, we
Okay.
should play.
Yeah,
Or
we should.
at least come stop into Kyle's office. Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Sure, sure. Yeah. I think I got to check in with him. I think he was trying to set up something for maybe Friday and Saturday. So I'll probably come in like early Thursday morning on Thanksgiving. And then I think we're going to play golf early on Friday, golf early on Saturday. And then I'm going to head back out early on Sunday. So uh,
Fun.
it's going to be a quick trip. But, you know, every time we get together and I head over that way, you know, he always picks out a couple of good courses that we love to play. And so it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, well, Arizona has a lot of really great courses, a lot of fun
Yeah.
courses too.
Yes, it does. Jesse, why don't you talk to us a little bit about your golf journey and how you got started with the game?
Yeah, would love to start maybe a little bit with my background. I grew up outside of Portland, Oregon. Got more so into golf probably middle school, high school. I was tired of being left out. Both my parents and actually all four of my grandparents played, and I was tired of
Nice.
being left out of the back nine and happy hour. That is a lot of the Oregon summer golfers' routine. So
Nice.
I wanted to be included. Decided to
Yeah.
go out to the high school golf team. I was super lucky in high school. Our golf coach was the head pro at the local course where just kind of that local area that I grew up in. He was awesome. He was a phenomenal golfer himself, won just some local tour events, I guess in Arizona, that would be the Pepsi tour, etc. So I was really lucky, had a really great coach kind of in that high school area. And then when I went to college, I originally went to school in Arizona at Arizona State for sports broadcasting. Wanted to be the
Nice.
next Aaron Andrews.
Hey.
Per any gal that I'm sure says they want to get into broadcasting, she's definitely an idol icon there. But I wanted to continue to play golf. The best way I knew how to be able to afford golf while you're in college is to start working at a course. So quickly, when I moved to Arizona, started working at some local courses. I worked at Stone Creek, Starfire, and Papago.
Nice.
Papago being the home now of both the Arizona State men's and women's golf teams. Loved it. Met a lot of people on the golf course in Arizona. There's a lot of professional events that come through, as you can imagine. Super Bowl, Final Four, spring training, you name it. Arizona has hosted at some point, which made it really
Yeah.
fun. Throughout working those 4 years just at some local courses, met some guys that were PXG was up and coming. I don't want to give my age, I guess, too far here, but PXG was up and coming and what they were building in that brand. And actually then started working just through some interviews and networking, working at PXG.
Hmm.
Really enjoyed my time there. I was brought on as someone that was in the sales department that helped with our PXG experiences at that time. PXG has a PXG experience where anyone from A-list celebrities all the way down to their C and D list. I'm not even sure. There was a lot of people that came
Yeah.
through, and so my job was to assist the fitters at that time, and that's when I learned a lot about different weights and shafts and angles and lies and lofts, and
Wow.
it was really fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, met Will Smith. He came in for a
Okay.
PXG experience Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Have nothing bad to say. He was super fun, but again, learned a lot through the fitters. Those guys are super knowledgeable, especially when it comes to technology and what's built
Sure.
into the club and how the club is made and swing speed and club head speed, all those types of things. So I was working at PXG for about a year, went back to school, got my master's in sports law during that time. I was then working with the Arizona State men's and women's golf teams as the director of operations, helped
Nice.
a lot with alumni, donor relations, current team travels. And then really a large part of my job was in preparation for our hosting the championships for 3 years at Greyhawk. Obviously, COVID messed up the dates a little bit there,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of preparation, a lot of volunteers, a lot of ops that you plan out when hosting an event like that, especially with top caliber teams. Those coaches and those players are top notch. I could go into some of the facility details too. Very quickly, just off the cuffs, what I would say to get that handicap even further down is anywhere from 100 yards in. Um, the Arizona State facility is beautiful. I would encourage anyone to look it up. It's
Sure.
very, very competitive. Any of those top schools, Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, some of those Florida and California schools have really awesome, I'd say, golf facilities,
Yeah.
practice facilities. ASU is really cool. Really thankful for the Thunderbirds here in Arizona. Phil and Amy Milkinson have donated a lot, and then just some of our other donors. I mean, there's some big names out there like John Rahm. I think still does pretty
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He
But
does good.
anyway, that facility at ASU hosted in Papago is just for the students and the athletes there. It is, I would say, without a doubt, 80% short game,
Hmm.
20% is long game. There's so much practice and there's so much I guess, like technology and technical work when it comes to 100-yard shots and in.
Yeah.
There's so actually there's two sets of greens. We have the artificial turf that is probably like 10 square feet by 10 square feet.
Yeah.
It's 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, and 4 degree lies that are all turf, right? So there's zero difference in variation of the grass or how it's cut, or I mean there's wind and other things, but that turf is at 100% 1, 2, 3, 4 degree angle lies, and
Yeah.
then we have real grass. And right, depending on, especially in Arizona where we're going and playing the teams at that time, it would be like Bermuda, or it would be what kind of slope, how fast do you want these slope ratings. And so
Yeah.
we had this huge practice putting green, well they probably still do, of like 4, 3, 2, 1, similar, but it was real grass.
Hmm.
So you could practice around a cup what a 5 foot putt was at 4 degree, 3 degree, 2 degree, with no variations of what that putt was, and then take it to the grass. And again, what does the slope read now?
Wow.
What does the cut look like? They actually also have what's called the loop. Oh my gosh,
Hmm.
hopefully it's okay that I'm going into this. But the loop is around 13, 14, 15 holes, and it is tricked out. I mean, they probably have 2 or 3 full length holes back there in the Papago area that's just for ASU. But
Yeah.
the loop is super cool. It is tricked out. It is anywhere from like a 40-yard shot to maybe the 100 or 180s, maybe the longest yard shot there. But it's really designed. I'm telling you, Gabe, it is short game paradise. It is golfer's paradise. but it also taught me, as probably someone that was like, yeah, I like golf. I want to work in golf. This is super
Sure.
fun. It took me from definitely someone that played maybe 4 times a week. And I would consider that maybe not more than the average, but
Oh yeah.
still novice golfer. I was probably shooting still in the 90s, which, hey, 80s, 90s, breaking 100 in Arizona golf, especially if I'm playing some of the further back tees than the forward ones, I'll take it. But working at ASU, oh my gosh, you bet you. I had my clubs with me most days after work.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And that for sure brought me so much further down in terms of like again, just technology. They have TrackMans. They also have what's called, gosh, I want to say it's like a sim putting lab
Hmm.
inside, which is awesome.
Is that the one that
I think it,
moves around and
yes,
everything
I
else?
want to
Okay.
say it is
Hmm.
called a
Yeah.
SAM,
Hmm.
but I guess again, technology wise, awesome. But technically, and like being super technical, being able anywhere you are playing in any kind of course, I would say 100 yards in, holy moly, that is the holy grail. If you can hit GIRs every single day,
Yeah.
for sure, right? And then the leg putts. I guess that was where I was going with some of the putting surfaces. They have that actually in the long game too. I'm like picturing this. I should have showed you some photos of what the ASU, they
I'm
call it
gonna
the
I'm gonna
bird.
search for him online.
Yeah, what the
Hmm.
bird practice facility looks like now. I'm not heavily involved in Instagram, but the bird has its own Instagram that I'm sure is super cool
Wow.
and has tripped out videos.
Yeah.
But actually, for longer distance irons too, they have the same concept where it's turf. So it's like, let's take out all kind of variations and just practice muscle memory. What does, your 7 iron 180 shot look like? And then they actually have a grass that's same, just like the putting concept, same, that it just goes out and you can practice. They have targets that are 20, 30, 40, 50. I want to say it probably goes out to 140-yard
Yeah.
targets. But the idea is they're anywhere from 100 yards in, like we're pin seeking here. I mean, that there is
Yeah.
no way from 100 yards in you should three putt, or like even if you're missing the green, you should be able to still get up and
So
down.
So that's a completely different theory than like what's really out there for like the weekend warrior golfer is 100
Oh
yards
boy.
and in.
Oh
Yeah, no,
no.
no, no, for
You're gonna
real.
tell me you're never gonna have me back.
No, no, no. But the 100 yards and that you're pin seeking, a lot of times right now when people are just trying to get their score lower, they're just trying to hit the middle of the green. Right. But
Hey,
that's what
okay,
makes
that's
elite
fair.
golfers. But that's what makes elite golfers that are different than the
Oh,
weekend warrior golfers is like you are pin seeking and you are trying you know, to do that. I don't know. So you're also a high school coach now.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
And then
that
talk to me a little bit
really,
about that.
yeah. Wow, I really dove into some of the ASU stuff there. So after ASU and
Hmm.
COVID, things shifted a little bit. So was working for the LPGA tour, loved it. Was working for some of the S.M.A.R.T tour events that come through Arizona, some of the champions events that come through Arizona as well on the men's side. All of those girls, just as what I said, you're absolutely right. I mean, that is, I guess, the difference between a weekend warrior and that elite level golfer from
Sure.
100 yards in. So now, working, transitioning a little bit to more of a corporate role, I was definitely still had that golf bug, that golf itch. Started coaching at Hamilton. I'm
Yeah.
super lucky. I walked into a team that has traditionally done very well in the state of Arizona.
Hmm.
Last year we won state, so that was
Nice.
awesome. We
Nice.
went and
Good.
competed in nationals. Yep. Our number one girl's now playing at UCLA. Was awesome. Our number one
Awesome.
girl this year. Yeah. No, she's awesome. I have no doubt that she'll have a decorated career. Our number one girl now actually just won. We just wrapped up last week. She won this state title individually.
Hmm.
So solo melodist there. She is currently a junior, so excited to have her back one more year. We just placed third as a team collectively. Arizona golf is a lot more competitive than where I grew up outside of Portland, Oregon,
Yeah.
but it has been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. In terms of coaching, I've realized that in Arizona, there's at that level, even in high school, if you're competing at the elite level, you have swing coaches in addition to high school coaches.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of swing stuff, I don't try and mess with what their real coach or what their, I guess, swing coach is getting paid a lot of money to
Hmm.
do.
Hmm.
But a lot of practice is still, actually, I guess I got this from my high school coach. We weren't allowed to go and get range balls until we hit, there was like a ring. There was 5 1-foot putts, 5 3-foot putts, and then 5 5-foot putts,
Yeah.
a ring around the putting, like the hole in the surface. So we weren't allowed to go and get range balls until we had those 15 circular diameter putts. And so I've kind of transitioned that into, that was really helpful for me to
Yeah.
never miss a 3-foot putt. We're going to do that. So I'm not sure if the high school girls that like love that method. However, they know more than anything that I really despise 3 putts.
Sure.
I don't know
Sure.
if this is like legal in the high school. I hope no one from Hamilton High School athletics hears this, but I'll actually institute, like if we're playing a practice round, obviously not in a match, I'm not going to do this, but if we're playing a practice round, oh, it is 5 push-ups for any putt that we have that
Nice.
is over 2 putts. So
Oh my
there's
gosh.
girls on the like back of the green. I'm sure they try and get away with it if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
watching. But if they know that if I am watching and I'm there and it's more than a 3 putt, they're eyeing me as if, can I get away with this? And
It's
I guess the idea there is, man, we have to give ourselves, right, even weekend
yes.
warrior. Let's say we're aiming for the middle of the green, 100 yards out. I don't think that is a bad philosophy whatsoever. However, we have to give ourselves a fighting chance then to
Yes. Yes.
like 2 putt. I mean, fighting for par or put ourselves in bogey, double bogey position. And that is so much harder if we're 3, 4, 5. I mean, oh my gosh, if there is 4 or 5 putts on the scorecard, I might start crying. But really, the idea there is, I try and tell the girls, let's imagine there's, I mean, trash cans now are all like hidden under the sink. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but when I was growing up, we had those big gray, huge tin trash cans.
Sure.
So I
Mm-hmm.
try and tell the girls to imagine like, again, that 5-foot radius amongst the hole. It's a 5-foot radius diameter trash can. Can our first putt get, like, give ourselves a fighting chance for a 2 putt? Can our first putt just get to that trash can
Yeah.
near the hole?
Yeah, I get it. And hey, you know what? I don't knock your coaching style. So I coached for a long time as well, not golf, but I coached baseball, especially. I was a football player. I played football all the way through college and I ran track.
Oh,
And so
awesome. That's congrats.
yeah, thank you, thank you. And so, but my son, he was a baseball player. So when I started doing that baseball for myself, and my brother, who was also on the previous episode, like it was like our secondary
Oh,
sport, you know. And so it was so, but we did play. But that same philosophy that you have, like we always coached, or I always coached defense first because they always like you're talking about going to get the range balls. Everybody wanted to hit, everybody wanted batting practice, but defense was actually harder. So we had to work on defense first before we could actually go and do offense. And then, like you, if you want to call it a punishment or what have you, for mistakes, or we did
uh,
push-ups as well because I ran track in college, and so I running is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a punishment, but push-ups are hard. So that's why. So
oh,
that was my
you,
philosophy behind it.
especially high school girls. I
Yeah.
mean, coach, this is more workout than we get in PE
Yeah.
class. Well,
For
good. I'm
sure.
glad we're breaking a sweat
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah. So you used to work for PXG,
Yeah,
and my son, he was on episode, our very first episode, and he's a PXG player,
I think I
and he
listened to that
loves
one.
them. Oh, you did? Okay, good, good. And he's a PXG player. But now, what are you hitting in the bag? Are you still hitting PXGs, or do you got something
Ooh.
else?
Oh man. Okay, Bob Harsons, if you're listening to
Uh
this,
oh.
please,
Oh
please
no.
don't start crying. PXG irons.
Uh huh.
I am again really, really lucky that at that time period in my life was working at PXG, and I had mentioned earlier that I was really brought in to do sales, and a
Yeah.
lot of times that PXG experience, which would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, at that time period in my life, it that all just worked. So lucky me on those times when maybe there was only someone on Saturday and or just on Sunday, but
Mm-hmm.
you're still there, and me and the fitter are still there. Well, what do you and the fitter do all day? You
Yeah.
sit and hit balls, and
Yeah.
you hit all different kinds. I mean, I was so lucky that I had some really great fitters at PXG that I was working with, still
Mm-hmm.
friends with some of those guys. Um, but honestly, Gabe, I was so lucky there because that was almost free practice. I mean, I don't
Sure.
want to say that was free practice for me because we worked really hard, don't get me wrong, but that's where, again, weights, shafts, lengths.
Yeah.
I just was super lucky that I got really comfortable with the PXG irons.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people have said this previously on your podcast too. So much of golf is a mental game. So if it
Yeah.
feels good, you're going to play good. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely believe in that. Feel good, play good, look good, or however that metaphor goes. Um, so yeah, I still do play PXG irons. Feel really good with them. Feel really comfortable with them. I have an even roll putter. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if you have ever heard of even roll.
I
They're a
haven't.
little bit they're a little bit more popular on the LPGA tour. Have you heard
Mm-hmm.
of Bettinardi's?
Yes. Yes, I have. Yeah.
And obviously Scotty. So I actually sold my Scotty that I had gotten for this even roll, and my even roll. And this is the first ever mallet putter that I've had. Normally, I've been playing more the blades, the ping, the Scotty blades, but I
Yeah.
actually sold my Scotty blade. I can't believe I'm saying this for this even roll mallet. But the Bettinardi, I want to say it is the Bumblebee. It's like a half mallet, half blade. That's the
Yeah.
one that got me, kind of introduced me to more of a mallet style. So now I play an even roll mallet style putter, a little bit more popular on the LPGA tour than I think it is on the PGA tour.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely still have some Bettinardis that occasionally make the bag. And then Woods Hybrids driver are actually Callaway.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
uh, may have gotten fitted again during the COVID area.
Yeah.
There was a lot of golf being played during that COVID
There
area,
was.
so
Mm-hmm.
just was trying out some new woods. Previously, actually, the my starter set ever, my first ever set playing golf, aside from the hand me downs that I got from mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa, were everything was Cobra. So
Yeah.
I went from Cobra irons to PXG irons to I actually think I still have a set of Callaway irons too. But yeah, I anyway during COVID made the transition from Cobra woods and hybrids. I never got into the PXG woods. For
Mm-hmm.
those that love PXG, I'm not sure if your son likes their woods and hybrids. They're really great for those that it works with.
Yeah.
I'm sure with any club manufacturing company, but
He
yeah, right now.
he's not biased. Yeah, he's got the PXG irons, and then he's hitting a ping on the driver, and he's got a ping three
Woo!
or hybrid, and then he's got because I just saw him in Oklahoma. He's got now the TaylorMade M3 on the 3 wood.
Nice,
So
nice.
he mixes it up. I'm more of a homer, when it comes to things. But actually, I'm thinking about going out and getting refitted probably next year. So I'm a TaylorMade 790 on the iron
Ooh,
guy,
well,
and
you got a Titleist hat there.
I
I didn't know
do.
if
Well,
that
it's
was.
because I hit the Titleist ball.
Oh, okay, fair,
So,
fair enough.
so I do. I'm, honestly talking about ball here real quick. I'm in love with the Tour Speed ball. So I know a lot of people, they're all over Pro V, Pro V1, AVX, all of
Mhm.
that stuff. I love that Tour Speed. I mean, I get a little bit more distance out of it. I get a little bit more control, a little bit less on, the stopping power, but it's the same outer core as the Pro V1. It's just a 3-piece instead of a 4-piece. And so I
Mhm.
really enjoy that ball. And it's about $15 less a dozen. So that makes it better as well.
Do you have really fast swing speed, club head
Oh,
speed?
I haven't even, I'm probably, I think I'm about 108, 110 right now.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Hey, no, I mean, I don't know everything. I'm by no means an expert. I'm sure, the people that are reps could share a lot more details. But to me, when you say that, I'm like, wow, you probably have really good contact with the ball
Sure.
consistently. Someone that has good contact like that
Yeah.
probably has a little bit faster club head speed too that can really get that distance and hit it in the
Yeah.
sweet spot.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, but it's, I'm thinking about maybe it's time to kind of switch it up there just a bit and see if there's something else that I like.
Hey, the
I like the
girls,
Titleists. They've been looking pretty sick here lately.
I think Titleist, their balls too just have such a rich history, I think, with both
Hmm.
tours and performance, and just some of the big namers consistently are sporting Titleist. So it's hard to, there's nothing you can complain about a Titleist ball. I'm
Yeah,
sure a lot of it is user error if there is a complaint.
sure.
But the high school and girls were sponsored by TaylorMade. So I
Okay.
actually have
Hey,
a
I
lot of
like it.
the TaylorMade distance balls. So
Yeah, homie
I'm
hookup.
not gonna.
I'm ready to
I'm
go.
not. Hey, yeah, okay. I'll bring in Kyle some sleeves. That's fair. They might have the Hamilton logo.
Hey, that's okay. That's
Go
okay.
Huskies.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know my nephew, he played over at Hamilton, so he
Really?
graduated. Yeah, he was a football player. He was
What?
actually the state champion in wrestling as well. So
What?
last year, the year
Kyle
before.
has failed to
Yeah.
mention that part.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
Mm-hmm.
Kyle.
Yeah. So he was the heavyweight state champion 2 years ago, I want to say now. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, I'm very proud of him, Johnny Boy. We always call him Johnny Boy, but he's a big
That
boy.
is
So
awesome. No,
yeah.
that is awesome. That's a really cool story.
So for yourself, you played college golf and everything else, but like breakthrough moments, like what was like a true breakthrough moment for you that made you kind of fall in love with golf?
That is a really good question. I had mentioned I had a lot of family that played the sport, and I was
Hmm.
getting kind of tired of getting left behind. Golf to me also is something that the ceiling is always broken. There's always something that we
Yeah.
could do better. So I
Yeah.
love that it's, I don't know, something I can continuously improve on. And I love the ability that I could play with, I'm playing with high school girls that are half my age now, and I'm playing with people that are double, triple my age. I don't want to,
Sure.
again, age myself by no means am I trying to call you old
Sure.
either here,
Oh,
Gabe,
I'm
but
getting up there. Believe me,
no,
I am.
no. I think playing competitively definitely has its ups and downs. I'm not sure
Hmm.
what your experience is if you've ever necessarily played um, even in work tournaments, or if you played, with just weekend tournaments, maybe with your buddies. Playing competitively is definitely a little bit different than playing for fun. I
Sure.
definitely have enjoyed playing for fun. I don't want to say a lot more now because I've enjoyed my experience in the golf world thus far, and it has gotten me here. But I think you keep coming back, at least for me, because I don't know. I love the personal responsibility of there's man there was I played on Saturday, and I actually didn't keep score,
Hmm.
which for my handicap and my gin, I probably could go back and I could tell you what I had, but I don't know. Like I had some, you flush a 7-iron from and you hit it 2 feet from the pin, man, like I
Yeah.
remember exactly that shot, what that hole looked like, and I want to go back. But then I also am like, holy crap, I just missed a 3-footer. I tell my high school girls all the time how much I hate missing 3-footers, and then I
Yeah.
did it, and now it's like I want to go back and I want to play around where I didn't miss a 3-footer.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I guess I keep coming back because I love improvement. I love getting better myself. It is fun when you're I don't want to say I'm ultra competitive or I'm really good, because I had just talked about I was around those really good players for a period of my life, and those players are really good.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Their
another
margin of
level.
error,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not hitting off a tee shot that just dribbles 10 feet to the right.
No.
There's their margin of error is, oh shit, I missed this green by 2 feet.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
yeah, I definitely keep coming back because I want to be better, and I don't know, sometimes I don't want to pull the like woman card too much, but sometimes it's fun to go out with me and some buddies, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know. They
Ah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's that I think like kind of like what you said. I was just talking to somebody at work the other day and they were kind of asking me some stuff about golf. I mean, that's what started this podcast was like as I started to get better at golf and I was playing with people, next thing you know, like I'm the guy that they're going to with like all the golf questions, right? And it's because I've done the research or I've been looking at things. And so I end up being that guy. And so that's what all of those questions turned into these questions that are now a part of like the podcast, or at least part of the script that I kind of use for the podcast to keep me on point. But I was just talking to somebody and they were like talking about how they were feeling about things, and I said that's the beauty of golf, kind of like what you were saying, is like you're constantly breaking the ceiling and it's never going to be over, right? But I always set new goals for myself, and I've actually exceeded my goals for this year. And the two main goals that I had was break 82 on an away course and break 80 three times on the home course. So I wanted to do that, and I've broken both of those goals multiple times now. But it's like I got to set a new set of goals for 2024 that's coming up here. And I haven't decided what those goals are going to be yet, but that's the great thing about golf. And maybe it is when I'm 100 yards and under that I start figuring out a way to go pin hunting there a little bit to knock that score down. So, I wanted to ask you another
By the
thing.
way, I do
Yeah,
think
go
those are
for it.
great goals, and I think that is awesome. In my experience with coaching,
Hmm.
a little bit like the caddies that I've worked with on the LPGA tour, the collegiate coaches that I've worked with, I have nothing but amazing things and praise to say both about Matthew Thurman and Missy Farke. And then at the high school, Gabe, I think also what you said, those are very what we would call SMART, right? Specific, measurable, attainable,
Hmm.
realistic, timely, all of those things. That is awesome. I know without a doubt the ASU coaches would say there is such a difference between saying, I'm going to go out and putt versus I'm going to go out and make 20 putts or I'm going to go out
Sure.
and putt for 20 minutes. Those goals I think are awesome, that those are very trackable, sounds like attainable, obviously. Right? Like, I don't want to say plan to fail or fail to plan, but it just sounds like those goals for you.
Hmm.
I guess I just wanted to point out, like, one, kudos, but two, I think that's just something to think about as we're planning and thinking about goals, especially even for a novice golfer. If it's breaking 90,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
that has to be a goal as opposed to what I'm calling the kettle black because I just said I went out and golfed and I didn't keep score,
Hmm.
but there has to be some sort of, I don't know if that
Measurable,
makes
some
sense.
some sort of
Yeah.
measurable. And I've done that too. Like I'll go out there and maybe I'll start off keeping score a little bit, and it's not because I'm like having a bad round and I'm like, oh, I don't want to put this one into the bin or anything like that. It's just more like I start getting into this mode of I want to practice shots. And so, and I can't always practice these shots at, on the range. So it's an
Oh,
opportunity
for
for me
sure.
to hit this side hill lie shot, and I'll hit two or three of them, especially if I'm playing by myself. I'll maybe hit two or three of those shots, or, oh, I want to take a different club from this distance and see how that feels versus another club that I might normally take. And, can I hit this 5 iron here instead of hitting something else like a 5 wood. Maybe I'll hit this 5 iron, and that leaves me in a better situation distance wise than it would if I, was trying to chip around the green and I'm on a tight lie. So it's just kind of some of those types of things that I like to work on when I'm by myself. But I wanted to ask you about that. So working alone and working by yourself, that's one of the big frustrations for myself. And I don't know, maybe you might be able to help me out mentally with that. Is when I'm playing by myself, of course I've got my headphones in, I'm listening to a
Mm.
book, I'm listening to something else, I play much better. Even when I'm playing not with my friends, but when I'm playing with my friends, I seem to give up 5 or 6 strokes easily. And instead of being 78, 79 to 82 to 84, next thing you know, more like 86 to 90, and in that ballpark. And it's hard. Like, it's hard. And because I want to prove to my friends that I really am that good. That's number one. And then number two, it's like, it for myself, I get frustrated with that. Is there any tips that you can
Oh
give me on
gosh.
like how to keep my head together with that?
Well, first, I don't mean to laugh, but I guess I'm laughing with you, not at you,
Mm-hmm.
Gabe, because I think what you're experiencing is a completely normal. I mean, I just said it myself. Like, I almost enjoy playing for fun with friends, maybe not keeping score, than some of the competitive experience that I have, where it's just a little bit different mindset. So I guess, yeah, first response, I think that's definitely normal. I think that's definitely something that we can all agree on and
Mm-hmm.
something that we experience to some degree. And I would also share that in my experience working even on some of, the Symetra and the Corn Ferry tours leading up to the pro leagues, I would absolutely say that's their experience too,
Yeah.
right? Max Homa, I think, won some big event, or I think it was like, maybe no, actually, I think I had this wrong. He missed a cut, came and just played like some skins league at Papago and shot like 58.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, sure. Maybe I exaggerated a little bit. Maybe it was like 62. But yeah, okay, you can come out and play 62 with people in a skins game at Papago because what's the skin off your back there, right? Like, there,
Yeah.
no one cares if Max Homa wins or doesn't win there. But on the PGA Tour, there's a lot more pressure. So I
Oh yeah.
think that's normal no matter what stage in life or specifically golf you're in. Um, Something that I think some like coaches that I've worked with though have also shared is like, Jessie, fear is not real.
Mm-hmm.
Like fear, I know people have heard that expression so much, false evidence appearing real, or whatever that phrase is there. But fear is not a real thing. Fear
Yeah.
is something that we think is going to happen in the future that's a managed, like just what we imagine in our head, but it's not actually real. So my golf coach growing up would be like, Jessie, play your game. That's not
Yeah.
a real concept. That's not a real thing. So if I can also, something that my coach currently will tell me, she'll be like, Jessie, sometimes excitement and like that anxiety of, I'm a little bit nervous, I'm with my friends, I'm getting up there and I'm like, my grip's a little shaky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes being nervous and anxious is this, like anxiety or excitement feels a lot like very similar. So just for like, sometimes I'll tell myself, maybe this is just my excitement coming in a different form, a different way that I'm thinking. I'm actually just really excited to be here and play with my friends. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they love me if I shoot 72 or 82 or
Sure.
92.
Sure.
I said
Yeah.
it just depends on the day what I shoot. But I think it comes back to that fear, being able to maintain the fear, being able to rationalize it.
Yeah.
And
It's
again, I don't think that's something that you ask Max. Get Max home on your podcast next, Gabe.
Hey, if
I'm
you could
sure
make a
he might
call
have
for
some
me, yeah,
words.
if you could make a call for me, Jessie, to Max Homa and,
Yeah.
hook that up, I'd be more than happy to talk to him. But, what you're talking about though, that almost that little bit of fear or the excitement, I think it's really the excitement because especially, my buddies and I, we really play together. There's 4 of us that get together as a group and we play together, every couple of months, or like when I'm going to play
That's
with my
awesome.
brother, I don't get to see my brother all the time. It's like maybe, once or twice a year that we really get to go play golf. And so you get that excitement and, um, it for me, when we're going to go play, it's like a kid at Christmas. Like I can't sleep on Christmas Eve to open up my presents the next day. And that's how I really feel like when I go to get to play with like my son and my brother
Mm.
and my buddies and those types of things. And so it's like a kid at Christmas. And I think I get a little bit too excited and a little too pumped up. And it's that almost that nervous energy that I'm trying to
I,
get out.
I'd say like channel that then, right?
Yeah.
Like what an awesome opportunity that you have. You get to go play golf for 4 or 5 hours outside, walk around a little bit. You're with family, you're with good people. Man, like I get that. It is Christmas morning when we get
Yeah.
to go out and play golf
Mm-hmm.
and have that experience. And man, I feel like I'm channeling my inner coach right now and how she would respond, or maybe even my
Sure.
coach from back home, how he would respond. And I think she would absolutely say, like, Jessie, man, what an awesome opportunity that is for you to channel that and turn that into adrenaline and get all that nervous energy
Pound that
out.
ball out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. For
get
sure.
it all out on the driving
Yeah.
range before. Get a
Mm-hmm.
couple practice swings in. I don't want to say take a Bailey shot, but do
Yeah.
what you got to do.
Yeah. So a couple more questions here, Jessie, and then we're
Yeah,
gonna wrap it up. But
awesome.
overall, you as a coach, how do
Oh
you
boy.
tell your girls to define success? Is it only driven by score, or is there something else that is a measurable that can be used for them?
Great question. Awesome question. And I will actually defer. I am so thankful for my corporate job now that
Mm-hmm.
has allowed me the flexibility to coach on the side. But something in my corporate job that we do as we're doing board of reviews is like a high, and as opposed to a low, it's a delta. So area of opportunity, and then a funny. So let's,
Mm-hmm.
maybe our number one girl didn't have a good round, or maybe our number five shot upwards of 130.
Yeah.
What was a high? What was an area of opportunity? And what was a funny?
Yeah.
No one on planet Earth gets by, the negative. This could have been done better. This shot could have been done this. I could have made this swing here. I could have two putted here, coach. We could absolutely,
You could
but
beat it
also
to death. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't want to beat the negatives to death, but I also think there's a sense of how can we coach a little bit to reality seeking too, right? I
Sure.
don't want us to have this false narrative of I shot 130 and that was great.
Yeah.
130 could be great if you consistently shot in 160, but
Sure.
definitely that line. We definitely talk about high, delta, and a funny, something funny that happened in the round to you, right? At the end of the day, most of the time not golfing by yourself. So how are the girls that you were playing
Hmm.
with? What is something that you enjoyed? It's high school golf, and I will say in Arizona, at least, there's the girls that consistently shoot, 68, 69, couple under
Yeah.
par, especially on a par 72. And then you have the girls that are shooting, 130. And it's, that funny part just, I think, brings in the human character a little bit. So it's not necessarily so technical all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of alcohol, I think I might have just got brought
Oh,
a
hey, there
little
we go.
something.
Hey, man, I'm jealous now. All right. So three more questions here for you, Jesse.
Yeah, no
These are the
worries.
fun
Thank you.
ones. These are the fun ones. So
They've all been fun.
oh, okay,
Again,
good.
appreciate this.
Good. Your most memorable course that you've played on. I'm sure because
Oh,
of like all of your travels and everything else, you've had some great opportunities, but what's been the most memorable course?
yeah. Wow. Different courses for different reasons.
Hmm.
Greyhawk for any. I'm not sure if your listeners are primarily in California or West Coast. So, for those
On
in
the West
Arizona,
Coast, yeah. Hmm.
okay. For
Yeah.
those in Arizona, Greyhawk just holds a special place. Just because I've spent so much time there between the couple years that I was at Arizona State. Their team is amazing. That course is amazing. Also, uh, this for the weekend warrior golfer, I felt like their greens there, Gabe. Oh my gosh, were those challenging buttons?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. Like I want to keep playing at Greyhawk because it was such a challenge and I want to get better. But
Sure.
those greens are like tri-leveled. So if the
Yeah.
flag's in the back, and this is what I mean by pin seeking, and you're in the front, oh boy,
You're in
that could
trouble.
be like, yeah,
Hmm.
that could be a freaking 40-yard putt uphill and or downhill or anyway. So Greyhawk's been really fun. I think mostly just because of the time and the memories, and it's a little bit difficult. In terms of my family, I super lucky. We had some amazing family friends that were members at Bend Country Club. So there's a couple courses in Central Oregon that I think are
Yes.
beautiful.
Jealous.
Cross Crosswater is definitely beautiful if you like the mountains
Yeah.
and more of like a link style course.
Hmm.
Uh, Bend Country Club, if I ever get married, and well, hopefully that time will come. But I mean, that course is beautiful. What a beautiful background! It's
Hmm.
just more of like the old style course, super green grass. It's Oregon, big trees, big evergreens, tree lined. Um, so Bend Country Club by far is probably just like my family, special place. Really appreciate it. Um, being from Oregon, I've only driven into Bandon. Maybe
Yeah.
one day I'll play
Bandon
some of those
Dunes.
Bandon
Hmm.
courses.
Hmm.
Really pretty from what I've seen. I played a little bit in Southern California. None of the big name courses, I haven't played Pebble Beach or
Yeah.
anything like that. But hey, I've enjoyed my time there too. Again, anytime
Yeah.
that you can golf, it's a
Oh
day well
yeah.
spent.
Oh yeah. I got to play Pebble this year,
Ooh,
and I played
ooh,
Pebble, Spyglass, and Spanish Bay, and just great courses to be a part of. But that Monterey area up there in kind of
mm,
central California, they're not the only great courses that are there. That's what makes it so cool. Kind of like Arizona, there's so many
oh,
cool courses versus like LA. I was actually searching for some courses because my son's going to be out in early December, and it's really difficult because in the LA area, not too many great courses that are around. A lot of par threes,
hmm,
but you have to head down to what we have is Orange County over here. You got to head to Orange County to really hit those great courses, but we'll find something. Um, One of the other questions that I got, golf drip. Are you into the clothing at all? And I think you kind of mentioned it earlier, which is look good, feel good, play good.
oh
And
yeah.
so, do you have any sort of like golf drip that is like, oh, this is my
Well,
go-to outfit?
um, so this is a challenging question to me. I
Mm-hmm.
guess my high school team that I work with now were Team Nike,
Yeah.
but I was with ASU for a large
Adidas.
period. Yeah, three stripe life,
Yeah.
but also worked with the PG or mostly the LPGA as opposed to PGA Tour. Talk about like all kinds of like there's foreplay and there's G4 and
Yeah.
all different kinds of brands. So now I've been super lucky in some of the gear. But honestly, Gabe, is so I feel like JT, Jordan Spieth, they're push even Max Homa a little bit. They've been
Yeah.
pushing this like new style where like our joggers okay,
Yep.
our sweatshirts okay. Like
Hmm.
I did not pay for this. I'm super super lucky that I was given like a G4 sweatshirt, and it's probably one of the most expensive. It might be the most expensive article of clothing that I have,
Yeah.
but it's a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
But it's also really nice, and it's a golf brand. So can I wear that golfing?
Absolutely.
Well, our high school team would say
Oh
no.
no. Oh yeah. I get it because I love the jogger look overall.
Mm.
And I bring a little bit of flair. Some of the people that I know, they like to bring it with the polo shirt. I don't bring it with the polo shirt. I'm usually a neutral color on the polo shirt, but I love like pink shorts or like some sort of like, something like that. I'm about that life, type of thing. But hey, I am all behind golf sweatshirts. I mean, I'm
So
I'm big on those. Like I love the crew neck sweatshirt and playing in that. Oh, it's my
yes,
favorite. My
yes,
favorite.
yes.
So,
What is that? Like Peter Millar, I think is really
hmm,
popular with some of those like pullover
yeah,
sweatshirt crew neck.
hmm, yeah, for sure, for sure. Last
Are
last
you
question. Oh no, go ahead,
well?
go ahead.
Are you then like by loud? Do you mean I feel like it's pretty popular in the men world now? Like at least for the weekend warriors, like that bad birdie.
Yes,
They're kind of loud
yes,
and
they're loud.
they're fun.
They are fun. They're fun. You know what? It's I'm a bigger guy, so and I it's that and so those types of shirts are like they're just not made for somebody like myself. And so I have to be a little bit more particular about the shirts, but I like to show my style in my shoes and in my
Ooh.
my pant or short
So
selection.
so what shoe brand are you?
Okay, I'm in love with the FootJoy. So I've gone.
Hey,
I
the,
went away from FootJoy. I played. Done the Nike. I've done the Jordan. I've done all of those types of things. But I have to say, especially this year, I went back to FootJoy. I picked up probably 3 pairs of miscellaneous FootJoys now, and it's not the class. I think it's a class. It might be the Pro Classic or something. A little bit more comfort, a little bit more expensive, but I'm in love with the FootJoys, and I like that low cut. It works a lot better with the shorter sock and the no shows. I guess is what they're called now. When I was growing up, it was a different name, but the no shows and everything else. And so I love those FootJoys.
hey, I think I have a pair of Adidas, Nike, but then most of the time I'm FootJoy too.
Yeah,
I think FootJoy
ultimate
outranks.
comfort. Yeah,
I haven't reached the age yet where I've done like the Skechers golf shoe yet,
no,
but I
me
heard
either.
those are comfortable. But style points, I'm still with the FJs.
It's funny because in outside of golf life, like uh when people wore New Balances, I used to bust on people that wore New Balances and stuff like that. And I don't wear them still, but I can't
Well, you were a
do it.
dad, so you could get away with
I
it.
can't. I cannot. So it's funny because my son's girlfriend, she always tells my son, she's like, "Man, your dad has like more swag than you." When I show up, because I'm definitely about Jordan. Like in my normal life, I'm definitely about
Mm.
like Jordans or Air Force Ones or something, and they're always like pink or blue, or there's like some crazy
Wow,
color that I love pink. Pink's like my favorite color. So
I
um
like that.
yeah, pink and navy blue. So I'm all about that. But courses that you haven't played. This is the last question here. The bucket list course. What is the
Ooh,
bucket list course?
okay. So in high school golf, in national rankings,
Hmm.
the National High School Golf Association last year, so I had said well, 2 years ago, our number one gal, um, she won actually, then Hamilton has a rich history of really good golfers. I promise it's not my coaching. It's just the rich history of golfers that go there.
Sure.
But our number one gal, her name is Jennifer Seo. She's now at UCLA.
Hmm.
She won. And that year, I want to say we also took third. But the National High School Championships were at Pinehurst. Gabe,
Mm.
oh my gosh, what a dream complex. Like, I've
Yes.
heard not even just like Pinehurst number 9 or number 2, like just that whole complex.
Yes.
I think number 7 also nationally. They're probably all nationally ranked. What do I know? But this year, super, super lucky. when we won, we went to Frisco,
Hmm.
Texas, which is the new home of the PGA of America
Yeah, yeah.
headquarters, not the tour, but PGA, a home of America. So we got to play both of those courses. I want to say it was called Fields Ranch, where the home of the America is. But we also played, oh my gosh, why am I blanking? There was another nearby course that I think was called Old American.
Hmm.
The LPGA tour actually stops through there too. So those were awesome courses. Definitely would not have played them had our high
Yeah,
school girls team not won. But with that said, I would love somehow, I'm a West Coast girl too, to make my way over to Pinehurst. I think that would be awesome. I
yeah,
think it would be beautiful. That's, I think we just said it on top of, the Torrey Pines, the Bandon Dunes,
yeah,
Pebble, even.
yeah.
Just those are, I know I just named all the like top non premium courses that everyone is probably going to mention,
Yeah,
but I do think Pinehurst, just having seen Jenny's photos and her experience there, man, I can't believe we missed it by 1 year. But I will say
yeah.
the PGA of America, they were a great host. It was really fun to see that brand new building. Also, a little bit of a golf mecca for anyone that's maybe in the Texas area or traveling to Texas. It was a really cool experience. It's a really pretty complex. It's all brand new too.
Yeah, yeah. I saw on YouTube, I think, some of the like the building of it and all of those types of things. So very, very cool. Very cool. But Pinehurst is on my bucket list as well. Uh,
Um, Gabe, really quickly, what got
yeah.
you into golf?
So I have my little history on golf is I never played golf at all growing up. I played football, I played baseball. My grandfather, who passed away, my mom's dad, my grandpa Herrera, he loved watching golf on TV. And I was kind of like, the athlete of the family. And he would say, oh, why don't you swing this thing? Why don't you swing it? And he's like, oh, you got like a natural golf swing. So I took it up a little bit. And in my early 20s, I met up with a guy and we worked together. And he had played on the tour, on and off the tour in like the mid to late 80s a couple of times. And he was making like one more run at it in the 90s. He's like, I'm going to give it one more shot. And so he's the one that
Amazing.
actually taught me how to play golf. And I had these aspirations like, oh, well, I'm an athlete. I'm going to be on the Nike.com tour. That's aging me out now. But, I'm going to be on the Nike.com tour and I'm going to
I
do all
still
this
have a
stuff.
Nike 5 wood, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I played in like one tournament and I think I shot like over 2 days. I shot like 6 over, and these guys are shooting like 8 or 9 under. And I was like, oh, yeah, they are at a different level than me. I'm not there, even though, I just didn't know any better at the time. But that's how I got started, was playing that way. And then because of work and everything else and having kids, I kind of calmed down for a little bit. And then was playing like once a year, twice a year, and it was mainly work events. But then as the kids went off to college and my wife and I became empty nesters. Like I played a ton. I started playing every single week and I was practicing and doing all of this and doing all that. So now I'm just completely obsessed with it and I can never get enough. So,
I
all
love
right,
that.
Jesse, I appreciate you being a part of the episode here. Yeah. And I want to bring you back in season 2, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. Hopefully
Okay.
that was okay then, what I shared. And I think this might have cut out, but I still have, I think, an old Nike 5 wood that I can
Oh, you
bring
do?
out for when you're
Okay.
when you're here with Kyle. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'll make sure I'll hit you up when we get over
Yeah,
there and I'll
that'd be
check in
fun.
with Kyle before we make all the plans and makes all the arrangements and see if you can come on out and swing it
Hey,
with us.
no worries either way. But
Okay.
yeah, well, awesome. And good luck with the rest of this season. It was a lot of fun. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you for being a part of the show. Wrapping up, I want to say once again to my thank you to my friends over at Soda Jerk Shot for sponsoring this episode. And if you enjoy listening to myself, hopefully some of you do. I am a part of a few other podcasts, 90 Minutes on Film, and also Dogs Fiction and Brown. So be on the lookout for both of those. You can find me on my social medias at Cali Lobo 45 on Instagram and also at Fairway Conversations at Instagram. Look for me there and hit me up. All right, Jesse, we appreciate it. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.